Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Resident Evil Requiem Countdown to Requiem. I can't believe it. This is crazy. The game comes out tomorrow. It's wild. It's been such a journey, and today we're going to be wrapping up the series. This is technically the last episode of Countdown to Requiem. I'm surprised we even have enough time to get this done. We really lucked out with this being the final stream before Requiem comes out. At least we're completing this game. And I do acknowledge that there are other games in the series that we will have to go and complete, so we have unfinished business. But I'm happy to say that today we should be wrapping up Resident Evil 5 as we are literally at the final battle. So this stream is literally just going to be the boss fight. The boss fight, the ending, and at the very end, stick around because I'm going to be reflecting on the entire series. The games that we were able to complete for the countdown, which was a nice refresher, but also go over the more recently released titles, all of which I've played. Matter of fact, by completing Resident Evil 1 original, I had completed my own arc of playing every single mainline series, including all the remakes. So it'll be fun to go back and reflect on that before we move into Requiem. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Let's just focus on what we got here right now. Resident Evil 5, Veteran Mode, Final Boss. It all comes down to this. Let's do this. All right. So. All right. First things first. Organization, right? It's been a while since I've completed this game. I think literally 2009 when this game came out was the last time. Question is, do I have... I wonder... Oh, here's these. If this is enough to take on the final boss here. Let's see. Save for 2. Let's do it. Yeah, I'd like to see how this fight goes first before I commit to anything else, really. I don't know where to add what. Especially with things being so expensive, I have to be careful. Firepower here seems cheap, so maybe we'll do that. But until then, let's just get a rep in and see how this goes. Oh boy. So, for context, we managed to take down the jet plane that Wesker was planning to use to disperse Ouroboros around the world. He was going to do it by means of dispersing it into the atmosphere, which would, in effect, infect everybody in the world. Because science. And we foiled his plans. So that's why we have this crashed jet plane here. And just so happens that we landed in a volcano, an active volcano. So that's why, if this all seems completely out of place, that's why. I don't think they have volcanoes in Africa. So we're definitely not in Africa anymore. We probably, with how fast we were going, somewhere over the ocean. Who knows which one? The Dead Sea, maybe? Okay,
I need ammo.
take that. So from the looks of it, we're both holding our, both a little damaged here. Just visibly, our health meters are full. There it is. Uh-oh.
I should have killed you years ago. Chris.
Your mistake. It's over, Wesker.
Over. I'm just getting started.
Oh.
To die, Chris. Why can't you understand, Chris?
Fall back!
Yep.
Do you really believe the world is worth saving?
Chris, get to high ground!
Natural selection leaves the survivors stronger and better. Humans have escaped this winnowing for far too long.
Okay.
I've got it, Chris!
Okay. Cool. Uh-oh. Not cool. With the eyes and everything, I'm getting some Star Wars vibes. And we're in a volcano on top of that.
Everywhere, nothing but loads.
It's kind of a
humans.
I don't want to call it rip-off. Inspiration. Uh-oh.
Just hold on, Sheva.
What am I supposed to do about that? Punch this boulder? So maybe I need this? I don't want to leave her with nothing. But yeah, what else? What else do we do in this situation? Perhaps the handgun is useless now? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be several parts to this fight. Let's just see how this goes. Try it again. Oh. Okay, so it checkpoints us here. So that's cool.
Do you really
And
believe
then maybe,
Get to high ground!
try to just shoot him in the back with
Humans have escaped this winnowing for far too long.
this winnowing. No, I've got him. Okay, now he's gonna go after her. So I don't know if I'm supposed to like just focus on taking him out.
Everywhere, nothing but loathsome humans.
Just hold on, Sheva.
Shoot him!
Oh. Okay, I think she's good. I think she got up. Yeah, there we go. So it's just buying her time. That's just the stepping stone I need. Come on. Put all those reps to good use, Chris. Come on. Give it a hook. Punch the boulder. Oh. Feel the weight of this. There you go. Punching that boulder. Even the music sounds like something in Star Wars.
The
Oh, here he
human
comes.
race requires judgment.
You're going to judge us? You get all your ideas from comic book villains?
That in Star Wars, my friend. Okay. Oh Lord.
I owe you one.
Oh. Why is that funny? That shouldn't be funny. That's not. It's not funny. Oh gosh. Oh. All right. Let's try it again. Hopefully she doesn't fly out this time. This game is 100% a product of its time. You can't tell me otherwise.
I owe you one.
Okay, how do we deal with this guy? It's kind of weird, right? Is the weakness still on his back? Come on.
Come on!
sure what we're supposed to do. Now we're... Oh, gosh. Here we go. Whee! Oh, gosh. What a game. Oh, what a game. I need to get myself together. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Woo. It's those moments. It's those little moments. Why I game. This is why I do what I do. Okay. Alright. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Honest to God. I don't know. Okay, literally nothing's happening. Let me be clear, there's nothing funny about someone plunging to their death in a volcano. That's not why it's funny. It's just... I don't want to seem insensitive. It's just the animation. I don't know. Something about it. Just... something about it. Now, I don't know what this boss, what I'm supposed to do, though. Honestly, how about we do this? Let's give her... We'll just go for broke and give Sheva everything, I guess. See how that goes. And then give these to Chris. I really don't know. Like if we're just supposed to light them up or what. It's just another one of those, of course. But par for the course, right? This is what they do for Resident Evil 5. They put you in a boss fight and don't tell you what to do. I guess that's supposed to be... maybe they don't want to hold your hand, but I mean, I don't... It just ends up being confusing if you ask me.
Go! Roger! Come on!
Okay.
Because then how do you get him out of this, right? Now he's got this whole whip thingy, whip arm of death. And then we get trapped. There's like... Unless, can we go over here? No, we can't. We're trapped once we get over here. He is shooting for the middle of his chest, so maybe that's it. I don't know. They're not making obvious here. We'll give it a few more goes, and then I might have to look this up. It does seem like it's his chest. Oh, you can jump down here. That's something. There we go. That might be the key. Because then we can just keep looping around. But I think we gotta get him out of that animation to reveal his weakness. See, she's going for it. That's gotta mean something. So the shotgun's not very helpful in this moment. And that was a little happy accident to discover that. I didn't even really count on that being a thing. Run.
Come on.
Okay. See, there's no getting in that way. Oops. Okay, I think we're on the right track. What else could it do? Give myself a couple bullets here. And more firepower here. do that. I don't know what else to do. I guess this is why I saved all my guns, huh? Okay. Maybe I try to use a couple of incendiaries. Or what if I wonder if the flash grenade gets him out of that animation. Maybe that could help. You know what else I could probably do? Let me see. I might have enough to buy some. Yeah, one of these or something. I can afford acid or flame. Also flash. And flash is cheap. So if I have to implement that strategy, I'll do that. We'll hold off for now. Oh.
Come on!
Start off Oh, we're going the wrong way. This is not the direction we need. We're screwed. Well, let's test that theory since we're already here and see if it doesn't do anything. Well, that sucks. When he's in it, he's in it. That's it. There's nothing that brings him out of that. You have to get him, like, chasing you in a circle by jumping down. Like, if you don't start the fight that way, you're screwed. Like, you know, you'd think they'd let us, like, run further away, and instead they, you know, they just want, I guess, to stay on that platform. But now we know the flash grenades don't really do anything, so at least there's that. Okay. Okay, I think I know what to do here. So I need her to basically fall back because that gets him out of his stupid. It's too late. This is perfect. Okay. Now I'm just straight up confused, because I don't know. That's a lot of damage to do. You're telling me that wasn't enough? That was a lot.
Come on!
Yeah, now I really don't know.
Give me a grenade.
Take this.
Um... Let's see.
Come on!
Roger. Thanks, partner.
Hmm. Am I missing something? It's weird. Mm. Mm. Okay. They're talking about a weak spot that appears either on the front or the back, but it's not popping up. Okay. Flaps. No, that's not it. Okay. Shoot the emblem on his back like you did when you faced him solo. Then run to the edge. His tentacle whirly attack, and then the weak spot on his chest will become exposed. Shoot it until it recedes. There's no weakness on his back. Am I tripping? That's exactly what I was shooting at. I mean, I can see it in the cutscene. It looks like it, you know, and then it's covered up. But then what does that thing? All right. So let's see what they're talking about here. Let them follow us. Okay, they say it's on his back. Looking real good at his back right now. I don't see any weakness. I don't see nothing there. And they say I'm supposed to hit his weakness on the... You didn't miss much, bad girl. I'm in the second part of the fight, and for the life of me, I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. Because you're supposed to shoot his weakness. Weakness on his back to reveal the weakness on his front. And none of them are showing, so I don't know. Like, let me try to get a better angle. I'm just going to try to get directly behind him. Just so we can see it, if it's there. Is it? Ah. Okay. So, okay. Then what do we do about that? That's the problem. Because this won't stop. He's just gonna keep doing this, and then I get backed into a corner, and then I'm screwed. Okay. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And there's the instant death there. So it's a bit of a challenge, to say the least. It's a bit confusing. Oh, I went the wrong way already. Let's go this way. Because I've at least found out that if I go this route, then I can just keep looping around. But then I gotta stay on the platform and shoot him from the top. That's where it's safe. But then I can't get to his back enough. Like, oh, what does she do? Yeah, the glowy spot on his shoulder back. Yeah, exactly. But Sheva likes to get herself killed too. So there's that. I think this is yet again another example of like game design that's just meant for two people. Doesn't really work well with one. Because then we can just like split up. One person gets the front, the other gets the back. You know? Kind of keep him in the middle. But good luck doing that with her. It's literally just that angle. That's the only angle I can actually get him.
Come on.
Okay.
I have to keep doing that over and over again. I have to spam it. And hope that he, okay, follows me this way. Okay.
Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Roger.
See, but it's not like, it's still guarded, you know? Like, it doesn't seem like we're really doing any damage. And one thing you did miss, bad girl, was that I unloaded on his chest like all of my ammo, and it didn't take him out. Which is why I'm like, I gotta be missing something, right? I don't know why all the boss fights are so ambiguous. That's a fundamental flaw of this game. Ambiguous boss fights. I don't know. This is kind of like, short of watching a video on it, I don't know what else to do. Because everything I'm reading says shoot his weaknesses, but it's like, been doing that.
Come on. Roger.
Oh, what's this? This is different. Oh, now I see the weakness. Wasn't there before. But what caused him to do that? You know? What triggered that? Was it just time? Nope. Now he's got it. Okay. There goes Sheva. Oh, there was one thing you missed. I was dying from laughter seeing the character animation, the Chris and Sheva fly over the edge like that. That's one thing you missed. I want to know what triggers him doing. I didn't like shoot him and then he did that. Like he just kind of like did that on his own. So like we need to activate that somehow.
Come on!
Okay.
So there's that one. We don't care about that.
Thanks, partner.
We want the other one. So how do we do that? How do we get him to do that? We'll try the time method and see if enough time passes he does that.
Come on!
Come on, do the thingy.
Come on! Come on!
So now you can see Bad Girl, the difference, like it's super obvious when he reveals his weakness. This is not him with his weakness. So shooting at that, you know, at his chest or his back right now, I don't think is going to do any damage.
Come on!
Okay.
But whatever he did to reveal, he did that one weird thing. But I don't know how to get him to do it again. Because I don't know how it happened the first time. It just seemed kind of random.
Come on!
Roger.
I mean, I'll take an assist on this one, honestly. Because the reason why I'm not shooting him right now is because I feel like that would just be a waste of ammo. No?
Come on!
Roger.
Who knew I'd be dedicating an entire stream to a boss fight? I guess I should have figured. All my hang-ups with this game have been boss fights.
Come on! Come on!
Okay.
Come on! Come on!
Roger.
Oh, here we go. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna do it. Is he? Come on, do the thing. Do the thing. He's not gonna do it.
Come on!
Hmm. Hmm.
Come on!
Take a couple of shots, then keep looping. Yeah. Yeah, we've done that.
Come on!
Look, there he goes. Wait, no. I thought he was gonna do the thing. Come on, do the thing. You know you want to do it. Not even doing damage.
Come on!
Okay.
Hmm.
Come on!
Hmm. Maybe it is just the back. Like, it could be that all I have to do is keep doing back damage, and then he reveals the front. Although it doesn't make too much sense. Shit. Like, maybe even just doing it with my handgun next time.
Give me a shot.
Use this.
Oh, this is an even better angle. Look at this. This would be perfect to get in the back. But the thing is like, I think if he gets close enough, he starts to do that thing. I'm just gonna kill myself. If he gets close enough to me, he just does that. What? How? That's what I needed. That's what I needed right there. See? Because then, the reveal. Okay, so then, honestly. But what caused that though? That's what I want to know. That's what's so infuriating is I don't know what caused that. And he revealed it for just a little bit because now he's back to doing his stupid whip thing. See, now it's gone again. So how did I do that? Okay, all I did was I was here. And I was like, oh, this is the perfect angle. You have a theory? What's the theory? Let him do the whip thing and then make him feel like we're gonna be here in the middle. And then he does this. Yeah. What the hell? How random is that? Oh wait, no, it's not there anymore. It's covered again. I know what to. I know how to trigger it now. I think that's the important thing, is I know how to trigger it. I think they want you to do like close combat. They want you to stay on this platform and fight with like QTE events, and they don't want us to run. Yeah, hit him in the back, go to the top and wait for him to get close so we can do another transformation. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't even, like, I'll go as far as to say I probably won't even have to do that. I just have to, like... So... Show you. Just gonna do this.
Thanks, partner.
And then we'll go over here. And follow us. Okay. Let me get my big boy gun out here. Then, literally just wait here. Center platform, and then here he comes. Ha ha! Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Watch out!
Maybe if we dodge him enough times, he'll do the reveal. There it is. There it is. Oh no. Oh no. Close. That's not quite what we needed. Close. Aha! There it is. That's what it is. When he reaches up like that, that's what they're talking about with revealing the weakness on the back. But it's a very specific animation. Okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Now it's just a matter of managing the fight. Okay. We got this. Even if it takes me a couple tries, we got this. Not worried about it. I wonder how many more times I'll have to do that.
I can't lose, not to you!
Come on!
Like he knows I'm behind him.
Watch out!
Go!
Roger.
Uh-oh. Where's she at? Getting hairy.
Partner.
Got him. I wonder if it's just like you can only do one hit on him when he's like that, and that's kind of the trick. Like, it's not about how much damage you do, it's just this the one shot. Just when I was about to shoot him. Alright, let's come down to this. See? It was just the one shot that gets him to change his animation. So I don't know. I don't think unloading on him is like what you want to do. I think you just want to get one clean shot off. And that makes all the difference. I think I need all the the weapons for this to work. So close to completing this game. I kind of want this there. That's a rifle, right? Okay. I almost like want to leave her with nothing. We'll see how this goes. We're going to test my theory and use the handgun to reveal the front. And then once the front is revealed, then that's when we'll unload with the Magnum. But just one shot at a time, because I don't think I really don't think you're meant to do a bunch of damage. Like, I think it's just a one-shot kind of thing. You get one shot in, and that's it. There we go. Okay, so now, one shot off at a time at the chest. See what I mean?
Come on!
I can't lose, not to you!
I need ammo.
Okay, maybe one or two more times and we're good. It's just a game of patience at this point. What the hell?
I need your help. You want
Okay, let's try this now. Just gonna do hella damage with this. Hopefully this works. How much HP does this guy have, huh?
Roger.
But that's too slow. Uh-oh. You're kidding me, right? I hit exactly his weakness. There we go. If this doesn't work, I honestly don't know. Got him. I did it. I got him. Oh, gosh. Uh-oh. Later. Same fate as Anakin, too. Oh, it's our buddy.
Grab on!
Whoa. Oh, shoot. You serious? Oh. Oh, no. Oh, this guy does not give up.
Chris, Sheva! Use those!
Two rocket launchers.
Ready, partner?
Better than
Locked
one.
and loaded.
Suck on this, Wesker.
Well, time's up, you son of a bitch.
Your time's up. You son of a bitch.
That was for our fallen brothers.
Yeah. You tell him.
It's over.
Yes. Finally.
More and more, I find myself wondering if it's all worth fighting for. For a future without fear? Yeah, it's worth it.
They fly off into the sunset. Actually, I think it's the sunrise. There you have it. Resident Evil 5. Oh boy. Okay. So, as is tradition with the countdown, I'm going to review the game on the spot. I'm going with a strong 6. No, moderate 6. It's like a 6 out of 10. Jeez Louise. Did I want to... Oh, man. Where do I begin? Okay, so... Story is solid. Okay. Gameplay is solid. When it works. The action sequences when you're in the map and you're surviving and you're, you know, helping each other out, you're shooting all the enemies and this and that. Like, all that is great. Like, from room to room, map to map, those areas are fantastic. It loses its footing with the boss fights, and that I'm very confident has everything to do with the fact that they designed this to be a co-op game. It's not meant to be played alone. Can you do it alone? Sure. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Yeah, you can do it alone. You know, it's not impossible. It's just that the AI is not helpful in those boss fights. You're essentially, with the exception of maybe like a handful of situations that I can recall, are on your own for a lot of the boss fights. And the cracks started to show with that first boss fight, the flying kind of crawly thingy where you have to place the landmines. Like that was the first tell that there was something wrong there. It's just not designed with first player in mind and a single player in mind. So, which some would argue that this is a great game when co-opted, and I haven't played co-op myself, so I can't say for sure, but I have a strong feeling, an inclination, if you will, that I think with another player, this game can easily be like an 8 out of 10. Possibly a strong 7 out of 10. But without it, it's just, it's a little grueling. Now, I did play on veteran mode, so I guess I kind of set myself up for disaster there a little bit by choosing the hardest difficulty and then having to deal with hordes of enemies and, you know, so, and that's the thing about it is I think that like Sheva works just fine when it's like the standard maps, not boss fights. The AI is great for that. And I don't really have any complaints in that regard. I think it's fine. With the exception of like a couple of parts where you get separated and you have to do one thing and Sheva has to do another. Like that's kind of like AI goes out the window there. And then it's a little bit of luck, but Persistence ultimately will get you through this. If you're going to play Resident Evil 5 on veteran mode by yourself, you can do it, but it's going to be painful. Oh, and the other thing too that's wrong with this game, honestly, it's the boss fights. Boss fights are very ambiguous. Now that's a problem whether you're playing alone or you're co-opting. You're gonna have some real challenges when it comes to the boss fights. Figuring it out. Not once you figure it out, it's not so hard. And you see, it's pretty straightforward, but they never make it obvious what you're supposed to do in a boss fight, and that unfortunately is a fundamental flaw of the game. So regardless of playing co-op by yourself, whatever, that is going to be a problem. So what I would do is I would not shy away from looking up guides on how to beat these bosses. There's no shame in it because it's really ambiguous, and it's not. I highly doubt their intention was to have you try to figure out how to beat these bosses. I don't think so. I think it's just poor game design in that regard. So it seems like they had everything figured out for single and multiplayer or co-op when it comes to this game, but they fell short of what to do or how to handle the boss fights. That's where the problem comes into play. And a lot of these boss fights are story driven, it seems. One of the most annoying boss fights was the stupid Wesker fight. The first one when he's like, no, second one when he's throwing rockets at you and you have to hit him with the rocket launcher, and yeah, it has to be dark, and then you're just basically, you're hoping and praying that your AI is going to do the right thing, and they don't. So, you know, they're always messing around or like shooting off rockets when you're nowhere near, so it's like you got to be in charge of that. 6 out of 10. I'm sticking with it. Now, is it worse than 0? For single player, yes, it is. Overall, it might be better because the game design is pretty good as far as like your mechanics and item management and all of that. It flows. It's just bad when it comes to single player. So that's why Resident Evil 0 gets it for single player. But needless to say, or that is to say, Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 0 are now ranked at the bottom of the hierarchy as far as I'm concerned. I earned a trophy, Soldier. What is that? I can play professional mode. Oh, there's an even more, more challenging mode called professional mode. Now you can play Desperate Escape. You can now view 6 figures and extra figures. Okay. Chris Heavy Metal. Rock on. Sheva Fairy Tale. Okay. Alright, so they gave me a B rank for the end. Okay, end game. Okay. So that's Resident Evil 5. Yeah. Okay, time for deeper reflection now. So it's obvious that they were going with Resident Evil 4 was a huge success, right? So they decided we're going to double down on that. We're going to create another action game, over the shoulder, third person perspective, right? Only this time, we're going to make it co-op. I'm sure that's exactly how the conversation went in those offices at Capcom. That's exactly what they said. They said it over bagels and cream cheese and coffee. They said, you know, we're going to take the series in a new direction and implement some multiplayer and some co-op. Fans will like that. And, you know, they're half right. By that I mean half the fans, the ones that play co-op, are going to be very happy, and the other half, the ones that don't, like myself, are going to be pretty upset about that. So if you go into this game expecting it to be a top-notch single player experience, you're not going to get that. But if you go into this game with a buddy, I am almost 100% sure. I would say I'm like 90% sure that you're going to have a fantastic time co-op in this game. So for those of you who like to play online co-op, I would strongly suggest this game, and it does put it up there in terms of like the ranking. So it holds a place. Now, for this countdown, it's been a single player experience throughout, and so I can only judge based off of a single player experience. So what I like to do real quick is just go through all my rankings. Let's start with what I believe to be the best in the series up to this point, because I know that there are games beyond this that we didn't get to, but I have played them all, so I can kind of talk about that later. But for now, I had it in my mind that maybe I just cover my rankings so far going into Requiem. So, and then I can talk about the series overall. But okay, so the ones that we played on the countdown, the actual ones that we played. Number 1, and it's so hard to give this number 1 spot, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Hot take. I'm going to say that Resident Evil 1 Remake is the best in the series to this point. Why? Because Resident Evil 1 is first of all, it's the game that started it all. There wouldn't be an entire series without Resident Evil. When they remade it, I think they fixed just about everything that could possibly be listed as a problem with the original game, from the graphics to item placement, item management, the story, the voice acting, the controls even. I mean, everything was so much more improved. It's such a good game that if you play it today, I don't understand how this is possible. But if you play it today, it stands toe to toe with like PS5 era graphics, and it's just that blows my mind. I was like, when I was playing that game, I literally was like in shock over how good it was. It just blew my mind. So I had to give it to that. I would have given it to Resident Evil 4 original. And it's too bad we haven't played every single game in the series, because I think if we had played every single game in the series, then Resident Evil 4 Remake may be the number 1 game in the entire series. Because Resident Evil 4 on its own is a fantastic game. The original is, I mean, it set the trend for the series going forward, you know? So Resident Evil 4, I remember when that game first came out, just kind of really, it took over. I was like obsessed with the game. Every day after school, I'd rush home just to play it. I was in high school at the time, I think. Yeah, 2005. That sounds about right. So rush home, get it done, play as much as possible. It was such a good game, and at the time, being a GameCube owner, like feeling like at the right place at the right time. For once, the payoff finally, because I'd had like Nintendo systems and Sega systems all the way up until basically the PlayStation 3 was the first time I made that leap to PlayStation. So I missed out on a lot of games from the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era. And sidebar, super quick, that's going to be a lot of my journey going forward as a streamer, is to kind of go in and experience a lot of those franchises that I missed out on. So look forward to that. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. When Resident Evil 4 came out, it felt like this is my reward for being a loyal Nintendo fan. Like, they've given me something that's exclusive to me that's badass, and Resident Evil 4 was it. It was the one that PlayStation 2 didn't get, the Xbox did not get. We got it as GameCube fans. So that was cool. And we had Remake. So we had Remake 0 and 4, so it felt justified to be a Cube fan at the time. Later on, they would go on to port Resident Evil 4, like I think later on that year or the next year or whatever. So it didn't last for too long, but still, we had our time in the sun. Okay, so Resident Evil 4, fantastic game, ranked number 2, changed the way that the series would be made going forward, more action based, at least for the next 3 titles. Okay, then we follow that up with Resident Evil 2 Original. That would be my number 3 spot. And I know we're going backwards. Normally you're supposed to go from like the worst to the best, but whatever, we're doing it backwards. So Resident Evil 2, it took the original game and made it better in almost every way. More cinematic, more story driven. The controls improved, even though they were still tank controls, they were better. The puzzle solving, the puzzles that they give you in that game, the way that the story, the way that it kind of flows. Now the mansion is, I like the mansion of the Resident Evil game, the original, because it kind of felt like you had to be very strategic about which halls you were going to go down, which rooms you were going to enter, and which ones you were going to avoid because there were zombies. So that was kind of cool. But Resident Evil 2 just kind of flows. You feel like you're going somewhere even though you're kind of going nowhere for a while. You're just in the precinct, but like each room, you just go deeper and deeper into it. And I know the mansion is pretty much the same way, but still, there's something about it. And the vibe of like you're in Raccoon City, you know, there's all you're in it. Like the virus is broken out, so there's more depth to the story now. You find out about the G virus. You see William's transformation, which I still think is like one of the most like tragic story arcs in Resident Evil. Just showcasing what greed can do to you, greed and just basically being an evil person. It kind of like really emphasizes, it puts the evil in Resident Evil when you reflect on that story. And the fact that there was 2 different campaigns, you can play as Leon and Claire, scenario A, scenario B. Excellent. Great game. Love it, love it, love it to this day. Still one of the best. Okay, follow that up. Now we're getting into the games that are not as favorable. Code Veronica. Code Veronica is next. Code Veronica is still an excellent game. I would put it just slightly below Resident Evil 2. It's even more cinematic, if you can believe that. They touch on the duality or the dichotomy of brother and sister sibling relationships, with the whole Alexia and whatever that dude's name, I forgot his name, the brother's name. See, he's that forgettable. And then Chris and Claire, that dichotomy is pretty cool. I enjoy that a lot, seeing that play out. Also, the game itself is, it seems like a refinement of the series, in terms of like, it seemed like the graphics got better because we jumped from PlayStation to, at the time, Dreamcast. Which, hey, talk about being at the right place at the right time for that. I also was a Dreamcast owner at the time, so PlayStation 2 did not see that game until much later when they got Code Veronica X. But yet again, so that's a lot of the reason why I feel tethered to this series too, is because I've been there lock and step for each release. But I digress. Code Veronica was a great game. 2 discs at the time. I remember when you completed the first portion of the game, you had to stop, take the disc out, put the second disc in. Game continues. It added, I don't know that it added more depth to the story necessarily. It's the reason why it's not a numbered game, even though in my view it's more of a numbered game than Nemesis was, because Nemesis is kind of like how do I say this? 2 sides of the same coin, where Resident Evil 2 is one side and Resident Evil 3 is kind of the other, and it tells a little bit of after and before, but you catch my drift. It doesn't really feel like much time has moved on, whereas like Code Veronica at least is 2 months after the events of Resident Evil 2, and Claire is looking for her brother, and we're in Paris now. It's a whole new setting. Then we go to Antarctica, so it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool that they're progressing things forward, and some of those monsters were genuinely creepy, really, really scary. The Nosferatu sticks out in my mind as something that's very creepy, storing your missing father, who they experimented on, in the basement, and hearing his blood curdling screams is that's creepy. That's good. I mean, that's why we play these games, is to get freaked out, right? It's scary. It's like watching a scary movie, except you're interacting with it. So I like that. I like that game a lot. There's not too many fundamental flaws. The voice acting's a little corny nowadays, but it was much improved for the time compared to like the previous entries. So you can't really, I mean, for its time, and I feel like that's the thing too, is you have to judge these games on both for its time and how it plays today. So for its time, it was huge. Like I had never played a Resident Evil game that looked and seemed so real and lifelike. Like this felt like the definitive version of Resident Evil at the time. And how does it play today? It still holds up pretty well. The graphics are not so bad, and the gameplay is solid. It's got the tank control still, but it's like the perfected version of the tank controls. So I mean, yeah, it's a good game. I liked it. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Okay, now we're getting into the not so go. Actually, you know what? Resident Evil 1. We got to give credit to Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 is still a solid game, and I would place it just below Code Veronica, just because, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up, but Code Veronica just feels a little bit more fleshed out, and Resident Evil 1 feels a little more bare bones, but it still has story, it still has depth, it still has heart. A lot of people you can tell that Capcom put a lot of energy into this. They wanted this to be successful, and they were successful. Shinji Mikami, of course, directed this first game, and it was excellent. An excellent game, a masterpiece, I would call it still. Even as it stands as a masterpiece, still slightly below Code Veronica, but it's a close tie because it's still a good game. We're still very much in good game territory, but not much else to say besides it's what started the series out, and it deserves credit where credit is due. So Resident Evil 1, excellent game. I'd recommend that to anybody. Okay, now the games that suck, and we'll just kind of run through them really quickly here. I would put on the suckage at the top, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. I know, that's a hot take. A lot of people love Nemi. I get it. But it just doesn't work 100% of the time. The beginning parts feel really, really cool when you're kind of let out into this map and you don't know where you're supposed to go, but there's like all these halls, or I should say they're like alleyways and doors and buildings that seem abandoned, but once you go inside they're not, because they're infested with monsters. And yeah, it's great. It's a good time. It's a good experience. The gameplay is solid. It works very well. They've got the tank controls down, all the stuff. My problem with it is that it almost feels like an unfinished game. It's kind of weird. It's hard to explain it, but it feels almost shoehorned in or rushed in a way. It's like a side story of what happens during the events, before, and after the events of Resident Evil 2. As a matter of fact, I think when they first put this game out, what they were going to call it was 1.5 or 2.5 or something like that. And I think Resident Evil 3 ultimately is a better title, Nemesis. But I mean, this wasn't even supposed to be like a mainline sequel, but it became one because of contract rights between PlayStation and Nintendo, and what had already, or not Nintendo, but Sega, what had been established already, because Sega was promised another, basically a makeup game for the fact that Resident Evil 2 wasn't able to be ported to the Saturn. It's a long story, but needless to say, to me, there's a reason why a lot more production and time and energy was put into Code Veronica, because they were basically developed at the same time from two different studios, as far as I understand it. So you had one group developing Resident Evil 3 and the other developing Code Veronica. You tell me between those two which one ended up being better. That's up to you. That's your opinion. My take, Code Veronica is better. Resident Evil 3 is just okay. I think the fundamental problem with that is same thing with Resident Evil 5. It just has a problem with boss fights. Not the first one so much, but there's like a second version of Nemesis that just is so stupid. It's like you have to like shoot the valves to like spray acid on him, and it's just like really gimmicky. And then the final fight just kind of felt a little meh. It's just basically a blob chasing you in a circle. Not too much fun. You had to push in some like missile things or that some like super laser beam shot, whatever. It was like kind of whatever. Now I like the Nemesis mechanic. I love Nemesis chasing you around. That's so creepy, so scary. And you know what? I think that's why people have nostalgia goggles on for this game, is because they remember how freaky it was running through the RPD or the city and getting chased down by this behemoth of a monster, Nemesis, and knowing that he's pretty much invincible. I mean, you can try to stop and shoot him, but you're going to waste all your bullets. It's just one of those situations where you're better off just running away. And that kind of feeling is something that I feel like the series was really, really tapping into something special there with Nemesis. And so like I liked it a lot. It was kind of like a take off from Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, the game that preceded it. I think they just wanted to take that feeling of the scenario B and put it into Resident Evil 3, the sequel. And they achieved it. It was very freaky. It really did give you this sense of urgency. And we're talking about polygon PlayStation 1 graphics here. Still scary. So I rank it on the top of the bottom, basically. Okay, now what's next? I guess it comes down to now Resident Evil 0 versus Resident Evil 5. Single player experience. I'm going to say Resident Evil 5 is slightly better than Resident Evil 0, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's hard. You're picking the best of the worst, I suppose, but Resident Evil 5 is slightly better. And I think it's just because it's more of Resident Evil 4, which was a lot of fun. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I had a lot of fun for most of Resident Evil 5. A lot of it is a good time. Even some of the boss fights, like when you do figure out what you need to do, it does feel very rewarding to actually like execute on that. To that realization and then implementation does feel rewarding. There is a payoff with those boss fights. I just can't stand the AI though. Oh my gosh. For a single player experience, stay away from this game. Just don't do it. If you're going to play Resident Evil 5, if you really insist on it, go get a buddy. Get a buddy. Hey man, hey gal, whatever. Hey person. Let's go online. Let's play. Let's play some Resident Evil 5. Let's do this together. Let's co-op it. We'll make a thing of it. Every Friday, we'll get together for a few hours and play the game until it's done. That's the route I would go. Trying to do this on your own is like, it's a schlock. It's not recommended. Don't do it. Don't be that person. And finally, at the bottom, we have Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0, unfortunately, is the worst game in the series so far. It just feels broken. And I remember saying that too. Like, this game is designed for single player. There is no co-op, and it freaking sucks. Why? Because the item management is abysmal. You're just leaving items on the ground in random rooms. So trying to pick up your item is super clunky. I'll go to reach down for like an herb and end up pulling up bullets. And I'm like, no, this is not what I want. And I have to like drop it off, pick it up. And because you have to be like exactly like on the spot where like you're supposed to pick up the item. And it's like, look, guys, look, just put an item box. Just put several item boxes all over the map. And make it so that you have to go back to that room to get the item. What's so hard about that? You don't have to drop off an item in every single room. Don't do that. That's sloppy. Like, who thought that was a good idea? It was a terrible idea. Don't do that. Okay, so there's that. Plus the switching. Never, ever, like throughout my whole gameplay, and you can go back and watch it. And it's if you want a good laugh, see me trying to figure out which button I'm supposed to push to do the switch. It just gets confusing because there's so many button assignments in that game. It's just like, I don't want to have to think this hard about what button to press when I'm playing a video game. And that's from someone who's been gaming for 30 plus years. It's like you don't want to have to think that hard about it. So the fact that I had to, and the fact that I embarrassingly pushed the wrong button and switched to the wrong character in the middle of battle or in the middle of a monster attacking me. Oh gosh, embarrassing. That being said, I want to talk about some of the good things about Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0 deepens the lore. It explores the genesis of all of this, how it all began, how it all started, the development of the T virus, the spread of the virus, initially how it broke out with Marcus or Leech Marcus or whatever, basically releasing the leeches upon the innocent people who were riding I forget what the liner was called, but it was a train. And you learn about, Marcus and Spencer's rivalry and about Wesker and William and their start and how all that began. And that's cool. So as far as story is concerned, it's great. And it's very important to the series overall with the story. So it's important. I wouldn't leave it out. But maybe if you're deciding which game should I play, which game shouldn't I play, I think maybe you leave Resident Evil 0 alone. And unless you're a veteran player who's played a lot of the games and are really, really looking for a deep cut, then yeah, you can do Resident Evil 0, but I wouldn't lead with it. Don't lead with it. And that's old. That was the other thing. The other thing that sucks about it is that this is 0. This is supposed to start the entire series and they dropped the ball. So it's imagine if you're someone, which I'm sure, there are a lot of people out there like this, but imagine if you were the kind of person who's I want to play all the Resident Evil games and I want to play them in chronological order. I'm the same way. I love to play games in chronological order because I'm very story driven. I love character arcs, that's why I love movies, going to the movies, all that stuff. Anyways, point is, if you're someone like me who wants to understand the whole story, you might go and play Resident Evil 0 first. And if you did that, it'd be a huge mistake because why? It's going to turn you off to the whole series if you don't know better. You might be like, this is what Resident Evil is? This freaking sucks. And then you're just not going to play any of the other games, which the rest are all amazing, except for the other ones I mentioned. But, it's why? It could have been so good. It could have been so good, but it's not. GameCube exclusive at the time. I felt special. Yay me. I was able to play it. And you know what's funny about that is that when I did play it the original time back in 2002, I actually liked it a lot. I think I had a lot more patience for games back then and a lot more commitment. You're talking about a time when we used to have to play a disc in order to play a game. You couldn't just have a digital copy of it. I don't think digital copies didn't even exist then. You had to play a disc. Even if you were playing on PC, you had to run the disc. Unless, maybe at the time you could install full games. I don't know. But the point is back then you had to commit. And I think it's that feeling of commitment that maybe I just got through it and felt like that was very fulfilling. And imagine at the time I would have been maybe my third or fourth Resident Evil game that I had ever played. So I was feeling no, this is pretty good, Okay, so that's my recap. That's all the games in the series that I had played up to this point. I think we covered them all. So now you understand how I feel about all the games. Now, what can I say about the series as a whole leading up to... Let's talk about leading into Requiem. So in order to bridge that gap, we kind of have to talk about some of the newer games that have come out since Resident Evil 5. So Resident Evil 6 came out. We'll do a short abridged version of my take on each game as it came out. Resident Evil 6 came out, single player game. I think you can actually also co-op that one too as well, which is probably another example of like when you would want to co-op is with Resident Evil 6. I mean, it's painful enough to play the game on your own, but like if you're gonna have to suffer, you may as well suffer with someone else. No, I'm serious. Resident Evil 6, it stinks. It sucks. Um, I did not like that game. And I think for a lot of us Resi fans at the time, we were all terrified that this was the direction that Resident Evil was going. And it was such a misstep because you had Resident Evil 5, which was just like forgivable. And then Resident Evil 6 comes out, and you're just like, oh, hell. What happened here? We went from like survival horror to like this, to this action based, like broken, like not so fun versions that also like deepen the story. They give you more lore, and that's fantastic. It's great. I love all of that. But Resident Evil 6, why did you have to be so bad? You could have been so good. I think the problem is that game was just trying to be too big for its own bridges. It could not bear the weight of 4 separate campaigns. 4. And each of them, you have a partner with you. And I mean, the story is a little convoluted. It was like they were trying to be greatest hits or something, and it just flopped. It just didn't work out. So, I'm low-key glad I don't have to play that game going into Requiem, because that might have like screwed it up for me. And that's coming from someone who just went through Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 6 is one of those games that would go on the bottom of the list. Probably, I don't know if it's worse than 0, but it's pretty bad. Okay. Then, and just for clarification, we're talking mainline games. I'm not going to talk not talking about Revelations 1 or 2. I'm not talking about any side games. I'm not talking about Survivor. I'm not talking about Outbreak, even though Outbreak I hear is fantastic. We're only talking about mainline games. So then they pause for a while. Don't hear anything from anybody. And then, boom, we get Resident Evil 7. And this is after radio silence for a while. It was a lot of speculation of like what's going to come next. And then they dropped Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 on the PlayStation 4 era. Course correction. They fixed it. We were worried there for a little bit because they got back in touch with the survival horror. They kept the cinematics in place, so it did feel very much like you were playing a movie. And this time, everything was first person. Cool. Awesome. I was all for it. I'm like, all right, let's try this. Let's give it a shot. I loved it. I thought it was great. The boss battles were fun. The story was really good. Learning about the mold. Yeah, I felt really invested in that game. I felt relieved that they were pulling the series back in a direction that made more sense. Now, it was interesting because you're playing Ethan Winters, and this is kind of like a everyman character. You can kind of put yourself in this guy's shoes, like you could be this person. And so they really went all in on the first person perspective, and they really wanted to kind of hammer home this idea that you were the person going through this experience. Even though you're technically Ethan Winters, sometimes it blurs the lines a little bit. You've got the lights shut off in the room, and you've got a big screen TV, and you're like really into the game. Like it could feel like you're that person just trying to find a way out. It was kind of like, I think they took what Outlast had done. They took a page out of that game and decided to put it into this game. So that was very, very intelligent of Capcom to do that. They saw where the trends were going with indie games, and they decided, we're going to do that. Good job. They fixed it. Only thing that was kind of weird that I remember is that at the end, you get, I don't want to spoil it too much, but whatever, Chris pops up at the end, and you're just like, who the hell was that? And then he said his name, and you're like, Chris? Because it looks nothing like they decided they were going to go with a complete character redesign, and people were just kind of scratching their heads like, what, is that supposed to be Chris? I'm confused. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one. When I looked it up online, it looks like everyone else felt the same way. But that was just a design choice by Capcom to like go a different route. I don't know that they They didn't really stick to it, because for the next game, Resident Evil 8, which we'll get into, they kind of changed things back to the way they were. But let me wrap up with Resident Evil 7 by saying it is an excellent game. It was a course correction for the series. It felt like we were getting back in touch with survival horror. And there was, like, keys got you into certain rooms, and you tried to figure out where you're supposed to go, and you were terrified to enter certain rooms because there were certain creatures in there that you weren't sure if you had enough ammo to take on. Like I said, boss fights were fun and inspired. So yeah, it was like a really good game. I would give that a solid 8 out of 10. It's not it wasn't something that I felt immediately shoots to the top of the series just because it was good, but it does put it up there among some of the better games. And then we have Resident Evil 8 Village. Now, this game right here, fantastic game. Okay, before that, let's back up, because I think Resident Evil 2 came out, the remake came out first before Village. So let me cover Resident Evil 2 remake first and say that, oh boy, howdy. Ooh, Resident Evil 2 remake, an instant classic, and wow. I mean, you want to talk about perfecting a game that was already excellent and good on its own. Resident Evil 2, if you had never remade the game, was a fantastic entry to the series. Much like Resident Evil 1 original was a fantastic entry to the series. But much like Resident Evil 1 remake, Resident Evil 2 took the game and just pushed it into the atmosphere. It updated it for modern consoles. The voice acting in it is fantastic. It's very, very cinematic. They respected the original enough to not change the story around too much. They added a little bit here, a little bit there. I think they added more to the map, and they kept the scenario A and scenario B intact. I love that. I appreciate that. So it gave it more, how do you say, just like the original version, it gave it longer shelf life, if you will. I think I spent probably maybe like 30, 40 hours on that game, which is a pretty decent amount for a Resident Evil game. I mean, usually you play through the game once, maybe you play through it again, or you play the unlockables or whatever, and you get like 20 hours out of it. But this game has a lot of life in it. So, excellent game, excellent remake. They redesigned Claire, they recasted her, so now Claire's got a new voice, Leon's got a new voice. Leon's redesign looks pretty good. And yeah, overall great game. I loved it. Loved it. It's now over the shoulder third person perspective like Resident Evil 4. And so I think that is an excellent direction to take it, and that's an excellent direction to continue going, and it seems like that's what they've been doing ever since. So there's that. Okay, so Resident Evil 2, fantastic. Where would I rank it? Better than original 4. Hell, maybe even, I remember thinking at the time that it was probably the best Resident Evil in the entire series. So I think it might even be better than Resident Evil 1 remake, but I don't know. I still want to keep Resident Evil 1 locked at the number 1 spot. So we'll put Resident Evil 2 remake just below it. Okay. Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8 is a fantastic game. You want to talk about shaking up the series. This game really turns the lore on its head, because you're just going into this village not knowing what in the hell is going on. Like, what? We got these lichens now that are like werewolves, essentially. We got werewolves in Resident Evil. Damn. Okay. So we get all of that, plus a whole bunch of other freaky stuff going on that you can't even really explain or understand. And I think that's on purpose. They want you to feel like questioning even your own sanity. Like, is this real? Like, what is really going on? I mean, because a lot of the stuff that has to do with the new virus, if you will, in this game, the mold, it can take on many shapes, and it does different things to different people, and how they react to it is different. The lichens are basically rejected forms of the mold. When the mold takes over, and you don't go through some sort of metamorphosis, you essentially become a lichen. And so everything else that you see, all the other monsters that were like very, very inspired, different, unique. The boss battles are very different and unique. Everything, of course, played through a first-person perspective yet again. Ethan Winters, yet again, deepens the story between him and his wife and your baby Rose. It's good. It's really, really good. Like I said, very cinematic, and it feels very much like a satisfying end to the Ethan Winters arc. You even get an additional DLC where you can play as Rose, which is pretty cool. And I have to admit, I haven't played it yet. I know, controversial. Maybe at some point I'll go back and play it. Matter of fact, maybe that's what I'll do. If we ever do get back to Resident Evil again, then I'll play the DLCs for Resident Evil 7 and for Resident Evil 8, so we can complete the arc there. So there you go. Maybe something to look forward to. But yes, overall, excellent game. I remember I had a buddy with me who would come over, and he liked the game so much that he would even just like sit and watch. And I'd offer him to play a little, and he'd play like, a map or two, and we kind of like, pass the controller back and forth. It was pretty cool. It was actually fun. He loved it. And like, he didn't mind even just watching the game, because like seeing someone play this game is entertaining. That's how good the game is. So yeah, that's a solid like 8.5, 9 out of 10. I liked it better than Resident Evil 7. And we learned more about the origins of the T-Virus and Spencer. So yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but let's just say it's a game you're going to want to play if you want to understand the whole story, the whole kit and caboodle. Go and play that game. That game is definitely included in the must plays. Okay. This brings us to the last game to come out before the game we're about to get, which is Requiem. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now, Resident Evil 3 Remake is very much lock and step with Resident Evil 2 Remake in the sense that it feels very much like, while it is the same engine, the RE engine, and it's still, I think it's the RE engine. Is it RE engine or Unreal? I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, you can tell that it's like one for one, almost the same game. Matter of fact, I think they co-developed the games, and at some point, I read somewhere, I don't know how true this was, but I think they were going to have this game as DLC for Resident Evil 2, or they were going to include it in Resident Evil 2. They probably didn't have the storage space to include the game, or they probably didn't feel justified like making it a DLC. But when you do play Resident Evil 3, you can kind of tell that it is meant to be a DLC. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it feels so short. I think I cleared that game in like 6 or 7 hours, if I'm not mistaken, the original playthrough. And I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. And I feel like it's an improvement from Resident Evil Nemesis, the original. Hot take, but I will take the remake over the original. Even though the remake is missing certain sections of the map of the game, which you can actually, now they have mods out where you can play like a corrected, if you will, version of Resident Evil 3 Remake, where it actually like they put those parts of the game back into the game overall. So that's kind of cool. If you want to go back and play it that way, that's probably the definitive way to play it. But Resident Evil 3 Remake on its own, pretty good. Not the best remake. It's like probably the worst of the remakes. I would say it goes Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and then Resident Evil 3. Huh, look at that in terms of remakes. So, yeah, it's a good experience. Play it. I would recommend it. 7 out of 10. Not quite an 8 out of 10, but it's pretty good. I do like Jill Valentine a lot, and I like what they did with her character redesign. It looks pretty cool. And also the voice acting is great. I love it. I love it. It's like all the cheesiness of the original Resident Evil 3 is gone and replaced with very cinematic, updated voice acting, and it's cool. I like it. Story-wise, everything's intact, and it just feels like a AAA game. Just a very short one. Okay, so I've covered everything leading up to the mainline series. The only thing that I haven't really talked about is the elephant in the room. That's Outbreak. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is for two reasons. One, I had mentioned earlier, I did not have a PS2, so I missed out on that portion of the games. And anything that came out on PS2, I didn't get a chance to play. So that being said, Outbreak was one of them. Outbreak File 1 and File 2. No idea. So I've got some homework to do. I understand. I've watched a lot of retrospective videos on Resident Evil, the whole series. And there's a really good one that I like to watch that like maybe I'll link in this video after. That goes over the whole lore of everything that happened in Outbreak, because that's gonna be really important going into this new game, Requiem. So Requiem, we've got a new protagonist, and she is the daughter of one of the people in, let's see, she's one of the daughters of one of the people in the game. And her name is Grace Ashcroft. And she is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft. And Alyssa Ashcroft was in Outbreak. She was a reporter. So the elephant in the room is that I haven't played it, so I can't speak on it. But what I can tell you is that that's going to tie into this game going forward. They're going to be revisiting Raccoon City, where Resident Evil 2 happened, Resident Evil 3 happened, Outbreak happened. And I'm going to tell you something right now. For this entire Countdown series, I've done everything in my power to avoid spoilers. As much as I would love to have seen all like 5 trailers that have come out for the game, I've only watched the first one. That's it. Oh, well, also the Leon reveal. That was the other one. But that's it. Just those two. Because I want to go into this game completely blind. I don't want to know anything about what I can expect, what kind of monsters I'm going to encounter, what the general story is going to be. I've done my best to try to even remove any sort of knowledge that I have of the game out of my brain. That's the reason why I had to even look up the names of the protagonists here, because I have a disassociation with this game. I want it to be as dissociated from this game as possible, because when I play a video game, I love to go into it blind. I want to have no idea what's going on, what's the story, what do the maps look like, what kind of creatures are there going to be, anything, puzzles, nothing, not even a demo. Don't even give me a demo. I want to just give me the whole experience fresh day one, because I mean, that's the best way to play a game. That's the way I've played all these games going into it. I've never really looked into anything. No trailers, no nothing. Once I decide that I'm going to play a game, that's it. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to read an article. I don't want to watch a video. I just want to play the game. So, what are my thoughts going into this? What do I expect? I expect that this is going to be a fantastic game. I do know as much as to say that it's been getting good reviews. I know 9s and 8s, sometimes 10s. Some are suggesting game of the year, which the hype is real. I gotta say, I'm so damn hyped for this game, because I've played every Resident Evil game day one since Resident Evil 1 Remake. All of them. And so this is like yeah, this is a great moment. It's my favorite video game series of all time. And I'm thankful because Requiem is what inspired me to even create this channel in the first place. Resident Evil the series is what's inspired me to continue gaming all of these years. I could have stopped at any point. I mean, I've got other hobbies. I've done other things. And it's always a return to video games because I mean there are other franchises besides Resident Evil that I hold near and dear to my heart. Legend of Zelda is another one. Those are the games that keep me gaming. That's why I keep coming back for more. That's why I buy the next console, is because I'm invested. You know, it's like I love playing these games more than I enjoy watching a movie or listening to an album from beginning to end or listening to music, I guess, in general, because it's so involved. Gaming in general, it ties, like, it makes the act of doing something passive, like watching a movie or reading a book, and makes you engaged in the process. You feel like you're part of the game. You feel like you're part of the story as you're helping it move along. So, a big thanks to Capcom and Requiem for creating Resident Evil, the series, for all of its ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'll take it all because I love the game. I love the series. So I am excited for Requiem. I think this is going to be an excellent game. I know that they're going to be doing some over-the-shoulder stuff and some first-person stuff, I believe. With Grace, it's going to be a lot of first-person stuff. And then with Leon, I think it's the classic over-the-shoulder stuff. So I'm anticipating a little bit more slow-paced Resident Evil 8/7 stuff with Grace, and a lot more traditional action-based RE4, 5, 6 with Leon. So that should be very, very exciting. What else is there to say besides the fact that it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow? I'm going to wake up bright and early. I'm kicking it old school. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the day. Head to my local Target. Stand in line at the door to make sure that I get my copy at 8 a.m. when they open. Because I was one of those irresponsible gamers/streamers who decided not to pre-reserve the game, which I should have done as soon as they dropped it. I know, but like, I don't know. I've kind of always been one of those guys that like finds a way. My whole life, I've always been that guy. Like, I'll find a way. We'll make it happen. You know, I'm manifestation. I totally believe in that. So if I don't get it at Target, I'm just going to go down to Best Buy and buy it. I've never had a problem in all my 30 years of gaming getting a game the day that it comes out, because they always have like copious amounts of copies everywhere for every game that's ever come out. And all you have to do is just hop around at stores until you find one that eventually has it. So I'm not worried about it, but I'm pretty sure my plan A is going to work. I'm going to go get the game. I'm going to come home, install the game immediately, and then as soon as I can go online, I will go online. Tentatively 10 a.m. just to give the game enough time to give the game enough time to download to the console, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go live with the game. I'm excited. I can't wait. It's less than 24 hours away. It feels like I've been waiting for years. Maybe that's because I decided to do this countdown channel where I recap all the games. But again, very happy and appreciative to be a gamer right now and experiencing this. I can't wait to come back tomorrow when we go live for Requiem. Until then, you do take care, and I will see you on the next stream.